Breaking news, Golden State Warriors fans. Moses Moody has agreed to a 3-year, $39 million contract extension, and he's under Warriors team control for the next 4 seasons. What's going on, Dub Nation? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and this is awesome news for Golden State. Getting Moses Moody here on a 3-year, $39 million deal. Great value, in my opinion, as reported by Shams Charania and Kendra Andrews, now of ESPN, one of Shams' first big scoops here. According to Rich Paul of Klutch Sports, Moses' agents, he's going to be staying in the Bay for the foreseeable future. There's so much to talk about. There's so many angles about Moses Moody. He's one of the most interesting players on this Golden State Warriors roster heading into the season. We have a ton to talk about, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And we're going to be bringing you content like this every single day. Breaking news, rumors, trade rumors. Golden State could be making big moves this season, and they could have a very surprising start to the year in the Western Conference. Make sure you are subscribed. We are going to be live for the first game of the season coming up on Wednesday against the Trailblazers. So lock us in as your #1 source for Warriors news and rumors all season long. And let's talk about Moses Moody here, because it's been a up and down rocky road for Moses Moody for the first couple of years of his NBA career. He's heading into year 4, and we knew this was coming, right? We knew that he and his representation were working with the Golden State Warriors front office to try to get an extension done before the October 21st deadline. That's tomorrow, and it is 8 o'clock Central when I'm recording this right now, and they got a deal done basically at the 11th hour. So glad to keep Moses Moody in here, and it is a little bit of a vote of confidence for Moses Moody, who has never really found a solidified spot in Golden State's rotation. Steve Kerr has been, noted to say that Moses Moody was the scapegoat of the rotation issues that they had last season. It's unfortunate that he was the odd man out, but hopefully with this new contract, he's now being paid more than a couple of Golden State's free agent signings this offseason. So does that mean an enhanced role for Moody in the rotation this year? I think so. Could even result in a couple of starting appearances, as he is one of the more traditional 2 guards on Golden State's roster. We have yet to know what Steve Kerr's opening night starting lineup is going to be, because he used 5 different ones at minimum through the 6 games that Golden State played in the preseason, an undefeated preseason for the Warriors. And that's where we really saw Moses Moody take the opportunity by the neck and go to the next level here. He was a leading scorer for Golden State in the preseason. He was tasked by Steve Kerr over the offseason to be more aggressive with his shot volume, basically. Just get more shots up, be aggressive in catch and shoot scenarios, be ready. And Moses Moody has showcased that through 6 games in the preseason. He's ready to roll heading into this new year. I'm pumped up for Moses Moody. Type some 4s down in the comment section if you are pumped up for Moses Moody. I hear you guys championing him in the comment section all the time. This is fantastic news for Golden State. Now, there are some specifics with his contract extension that if he were down the line to become a trade candidate for Golden State, say he ended up falling out of the rotation again. I don't think this is going to happen, but there is a kicker. With him having this rookie scale contract extension, there is a poison pill provision involved. So if he were to be traded out, the $13 million doesn't really match up. You're not sending out $13 million with Moses Moody this year at least. I think next year that would change, but as far as this year goes, you would be sending out $5.8 million in salary, and you would need to recoup back $11 million. So the Golden State he's a very tricky player to trade this season, but that's honestly a good thing for me, because I don't want to see Moses Moody out here. I think he's one of the most promising young 3-and-D players in this league. He just hasn't been given the opportunity yet. We've seen it with countless players in this league. If you're given the opportunity, a lot of guys just go out there and make the most of it, and we see stars that we've never seen previously. I'm not saying Moses Moody is going to be an all-star level player, but man, for a Golden State team that loses Klay Thompson and really needs some reinforcements there in the backcourt, I think he can be a very, very solid rotational player. I mean, he's already one of the better on-ball defenders in Golden State's backcourt. You have DeAnthony Melton, but aside from that, there isn't a ton of great defensive options back there. Gary Payton II, how often is he going to be available this year? There are questions surrounding him. And is he even going to be a viable rotation player? Because he doesn't really have much of an offensive game. We've seen from Moses Moody that he can get to his spots. He can score off the dribble a little bit. He can run the pick and roll. But that catch and shoot threat ability as well is going to space the floor for Golden State in a way that Gary Payton II doesn't really. And I particularly think that Moses Moody could be a better offensive threat than a guy like DeAnthony Melton this year. Maybe he's a little bit better defensively, but I think Golden State's going to need to get buckets a lot of times this season. You only have Steph there as your superstar scoring threat. Moses Moody is going to be that guy for Golden State. And I don't know, man. I just have high hopes. I don't think he's going to necessarily be the second scoring option on this team or anything like that, but man, he has made it nearly impossible for Golden State not to have him in the rotation so far this preseason. And I mean, in the flashes that we've seen in the past, yeah, he's a young player. He's needed to develop. He was super young when he came out of Arkansas. He seems to have a little bit more polish to his game now. He seems to be ready for the challenge that Steve Kerr has in front of him, because there is going to be a challenge. There's a void left by a Hall of Fame player in Klay Thompson, and nobody's, gone and taken it yet. Nobody's gone and taken that spot. He said, Steve Kerr says, Andrew Wiggins, he's going to be the secondary scoring option. Are we 100% confident in that? How long into the season is that going to be the case? Who is going to emerge out of the young talent that Golden State has? I think Moses Moody has just as good a chance as Brandon Podziemski to be that level of scorer. And maybe Brandon Podziemski gets a little bit more volume this season, but hey, we've seen Moses Moody overcome adversity before. You're getting him on a great value contract here. He's kind of betting on himself in a sense where, he's taking $13 million a year. Like, I don't think if he played any way this season, maybe he would have gotten more than $13 million a year. But you got the money now, you're locked up, and he's in a place where he wants to be. If he wouldn't sign an extension if he didn't want to be there. Now, speaking of contract extensions, this also comes with a caveat of, there's another man who has a contract extension deadline, just picked a few draft selections before Moses Moody back in the 2021 NBA draft, and that's Jonathan Kuminga. And the reports coming out over the weekend were that Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors were still very far apart on contract negotiations. Now, Kuminga and his camp, we've known previously, are seeking something close to a 5-year maximum contract extension that we've seen from the likes of Franz Wagner, Cade Cunningham, the 5-year $224 million extension that could turn into 5 years $270 if incentives are hit. We got to see more from Jonathan Kuminga, and I think the Warriors know that because they're far away on a contract number. I think they're in something more of the realm of 5 years for $150 million, or even less, $145 million. I mean, that's not even $30 million for Jonathan Kuminga, and he's asking for something in the realm of close to $50 million. It's a lot of money, and they're a ways away. It doesn't look like there's going to be a deal that gets done. Anthony Slater of The Athletic has actually reported that not reported, but his guess has been this entire time that a deal will not be struck between Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors, leaving his season basically up to him. He's got to go make his money's worth this year, and he's going to have a very large role on this team as well. Is he going to play the 4 spot? Is he going to play the 3 spot? He shot well enough from three-point range in the preseason to warrant certain minutes at the 3, and I hope that with the confidence that they've put in, the chips that they put in the basket on Jonathan Kuminga, because remember, these guys, aside from Moses Moody, the guy who they give the contract extension to, was actually the only player that, was dangled in these big trade ideas for Lauri Markkanen and Paul George. So he gets his payday now that he wasn't dealt for those guys. Jonathan Kuminga, now it's time for you to step up and get your money that you think you deserve, because Golden State doesn't think that you're worth the money that you think you are right now, and they don't even think that you're worth playing the position that you say you play right now. So he's got to go out and take it. He's going to get minutes at the 3, and I think he's going to shine this year as well. Is he going to go get max money? If I had to make a prediction, I would say no. But who am I to say that Jonathan Kuminga can't break out? We saw a bigger breakout last year. He just has to add a little bit more shot creation, a little bit better decisiveness, decision-making, initiation of an offense, because Golden State doesn't have a ton of initiators. Moses Moody actually looked like not a bad one in the preseason. So to wrap things up, Moses Moody gets a 3-year, $39 million contract extension from the Golden State Warriors. We're going to talk about all this even more all week leading up to the first game on Wednesday. Wow. So we got tonight, which is Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. 3 more sleeps until we see Warriors basketball again. If you're hyped for the Golden State Warriors 2024-25 NBA season, give me a GSW down in the comments section. And also, hit me up on Twitter as well, at Smitty@CS. SMITTYATCS, because I'm bringing you guys the Golden State Warriors news there first before we even get you guys a video. So hit me up over there and subscribe to the channel for constant Golden State Warriors daily uploads all season long. Let's go Dubs!